It's not soccer. It's not rugby. And it's older than both of them. Here's the short answer to what Gaelic football actually is. Ireland's most popular sport, a game where you can catch, carry, kick, played by amateurs who fill an 80,000-seat stadium and go to work on Monday. A game that was codified as an act of defiance, so that Ireland would never have to play England's games. And at the heart of it, a county that believes it was cursed by a priest in 1951 and has lost every single final since. I'm Tig. Let's open the vault on the game Ireland built for itself. Long before rules, long before pitches, there was card. For centuries, Irish parishes played a wild, sprawling ancestor of football, a ball of animal skin, 2 villages, and a pitch that was simply the countryside between them. Hundreds of players aside, matches that crossed fields, rivers, and stone walls and lasted from morning until dark. No referee, few rules, just a ball and the honor of your parish. Football in Ireland wasn't invented. It grew out of the land itself. And like everything natively Irish, it made the authorities nervous. Under colonial rule, Gaelic games were discouraged and suppressed, part of the long campaign against Irish language, Irish custom, Irish gathering, because that's what a match was, a gathering. Hundreds of Irish men organized, passionate, together in one field. If you've seen our hurling video, you know this story. The statutes of Kilkenny banned Ireland's games as far back as 1367. The establishment understood something important. A people who play together, stand together. By the 1880s, something new was spreading through Ireland. English soccer, English rugby, organized, codified, arriving with the garrison and the grammar school. And a group of Irish nationalists looked at this and made a decision that still shapes Ireland today. If Ireland played England's games, Ireland would slowly become England. So in 1884, in Thurles, the Gaelic Athletic Association was founded, and within months, it did something remarkable. It took the wild old game of Cade and wrote it down. Rules, teams, pitches, a national game deliberately, proudly, not English. Gaelic football as we know it wasn't just born. It was declared. A country inventing its own football, so it would never have to play anyone else's. And if you ever doubt that a game could threaten an empire, remember what happened on the 21st of November, 1920. Ireland was at war, the War of Independence. That morning, Michael Collins' men had struck British intelligence in Dublin. That afternoon, 5,000 people gathered in Croke Park for a football match, Dublin against Tipperary. An ordinary Sunday crowd, families, children. During the match, British forces entered the ground and opened fire on the crowd. 14 people were killed. Among them, a 14-year-old boy, a woman engaged to be married, and one player, Tipperary's Michael Hogan, shot dead on the pitch itself. Today, one of the great stands of Croke Park bears his name, the Hogan Stand. Every All-Ireland final is played in its shadow. Bloody Sunday deserves its own episode, and it will get one. For now, understand this. In Ireland, football was never just football. The empire itself made sure of that. Because here's what makes Gaelic football unlike almost any sport on earth. You don't support a team. You are your county. Kerry, the aristocrats with more titles than anyone. Dublin, the giants of the modern game. 32 counties, every rivalry a century deep, every jersey a family inheritance. But one county carries something heavier than rivalry. Mayo. In 1951, Mayo won the All-Ireland final, their second in a row. They were the best team in Ireland, and the future looked green and red. The story goes that on the road home, the team truck passed a funeral in the town of Foxford and caught up in celebration. They didn't stop, didn't fall silent, didn't pay their respects. And the priest at the head of that funeral turned to face them and cursed them. Mayo would never win another All-Ireland until every member of that 1951 team was dead. Now, maybe you don't believe in curses. The players themselves swore there was no funeral at all. But here's what the record shows. Since 1951, Mayo have reached the All-Ireland final 11 times and lost every single one. Some by a point, some in replays, some in the final minute in ways so cruel that grown men left Croke Park in tears. 70 years of heartbreak, the longest, strangest drought in Irish sport. And then, in 2021, Paddy Prendergast, the last surviving starter of that 1951 team, passed away, aged 95. By 2023, every man connected to that team was gone. The curse's condition has been met. The debt, if there ever was one, is paid. So now a county on Ireland's Atlantic coast holds its breath, waiting to find out whether the curse was ever real or whether heartbreak simply became a habit. Either way, when Mayo finally win, and one day they will, it may be the single greatest moment in the history of Irish sport. And here's a twist almost nobody outside Ireland knows. Ireland's game has a cousin on the far side of the world. Australian rules football. Born in the 1800s in a country filled with Irish immigrants, shares so much DNA with Gaelic football that the two countries invented something unique. International rules. A hybrid game, half Gaelic, half Aussie rules, where Ireland plays Australia. The only time Ireland's native sport takes the field against another nation. And the bridge runs both ways. For decades, Australian professional clubs have recruited young Gaelic footballers straight out of Ireland. Farm boys from Kerry and Mayo turned professional athletes in Melbourne. The game the immigrants carried out now sends its sons back and forth across the world. But here at home, one thing has never changed. Nobody gets paid. The men who will contest the All-Ireland final in front of 80,000 people, teachers, farmers, guards, students, they train like professionals. They fill one of the biggest stadiums in Europe, and on Monday morning, they go to work. Because in the GAA, you don't sign for a club. You're born into one. You play for your parish, then your county, for the place your family is from, the colors your grandfather wore. No transfers, no contracts. If your county breaks your heart every September, that's your county for life. Just ask Mayo. So what does it actually look like, this game worth all of that? 15 players aside on a pitch bigger than any soccer field, a round ball you can catch from the sky, carry at full sprint, bounce, kick, or strike with a closed fist. Every 4 steps, you release it, a bounce, or the skill that defines the sport, the solo, dropping the ball onto your own boot and back into your hands without breaking stride. Score over the crossbar, 1 point. Beat the goalkeeper below it, a goal worth 3. And above everything, the high catch. One player rising over a crowd to pluck the ball out of the air, the single most beautiful sight in Irish sport. It's faster than rugby, more physical than soccer, and it belongs to no one else on earth. So, a wild game as old as the parishes themselves, written into rules as an act of defiance, fired upon in its own stadium and answered by naming a stand after the fallen, played for nothing by men who belong to their counties the way other people belong to families. Empires build games to conquer. Ireland built one to remain itself. And somewhere in the West, a county in green and red is still waiting on a promise made by a priest on a road in 1951. When that day comes, the roar will be heard across the Atlantic. If you want the stories behind this one, the Sunday Croak Park never forgot, the rising the GAA helped feed, and the 3,000-year-old game that came before it all. They're in the vault. Subscribe. There's a lot more they didn't teach you.